Hello, and welcome to Lights, Camera, Baby, the show that is with you through your parenthood, from pregnancy and beyond. Today, we're going to try to keep you abreast with all the information that you need to take on a new journey of parenthood. I'm Linda Mtoba, and today, if you guessed it, we're talking about the real boob job, breastfeeding. Research has revealed that South Africa is certainly on the right track with exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life. It has increased from a mere 10% in 2011 to 32% by 2018. Well done, South Africa. We know it can be challenging, but more importantly, it can be a wonderfully rewarding experience, not only for you, but also for baby. Here to bring us the best when it comes to breast, welcome to studio. We have Lactation Consultant Carey Haupt and Midwife Sister Lilo Mthembu. Welcome, ladies. You look so beautiful. All things bright and wonderful. Let's get right into it. When we speak about exclusive breastfeeding, Sister Lilo, what exactly do you mean by that?
Exclusive breastfeeding means exclusive breastfeeding. No giving any water, no juice, no nothing, no food, no nothing, just breast from birth until 6 months. That's what we mean.
Why is exclusive breastfeeding so important in those first 6 months, Carey?
So with exclusive breastfeeding, it has all the nutrition, all the nutrients. It helps with the baby's immune system for those first 6 months. So the baby can actually get everything they need from the mother, including water. That's why we said no tea, no water. And it also helps with the baby's gut. It helps the baby to grow, and it's exactly what your baby needs.
I was so mind-boggled about asking my nurse, no water. Yeah. She's like, yes, isn't the water the basis of all life? And she's like, the breast has everything and actually more.
Yeah.
How long should we be exclusively breastfeeding for?
So the WHO guideline is for 6 months for exclusive breastfeeding, and then to breastfeed for 2 years or longer. So it's a relationship between the mom and the baby. And when they're ready to stop, that's when they're ready to stop.
That's really, really amazing. When must mom start breastfeeding, sister?
Immediately. You know that for first important hour, the golden hour, part of the golden hour is putting your baby on the breast. Usually what they do, they're very clever. They crawl up to the breast. They actually look for it. They know where to find it. By way, they just get to it. So that's the most important part is the first hour where you just put the baby there and let the baby find the boob.
Speaking about the baby finding the boob, is there anything that mom needs to do to ensure that the baby does breastfeed in that first hour, Carey?
So I would say speak to your healthcare professionals. Let them know that you want to do skin to skin as soon as possible after birth, and then ask to be left alone with your partner so that you can recover. So baby also needs to recover from birth. So they will crawl, they'll relax, they'll sleep, they'll wake up, and they'll look for the breast. So if you've ever wondered why your nipple gets darker when you're pregnant,
yes,
it's for baby to find the little target.
Like a ball,
yes, exactly. So give the baby time, and babies can take up to an hour to start breastfeeding. So don't panic if they don't start straight away, but you need to give them the time and the space. So put that nappy on and let the baby go straight onto the mother's chest as soon as possible.
A lot happens in the first hour, and something really magical does come out of the breast in that first hour, colostrum. What exactly is colostrum, sister?
They call it golden juice, I think. It's golden juice. It's this yellowy, sticky substance that you cannot put in drops. Liquid gold, yes. That's what it is. It's got all the nutrients that you need. It helps actually lift up the blood glucoses more than filling them up because they need to have a certain level of glucose in the blood. So that actually helps to elevate the glucose so that their glucose is kept healthy. And then afterwards, the real milk start coming in, which is in about 3 to 4 days.
3 to 4 days. So in those 3 to 4 days, is it only colostrum that's coming out, or is it a mixture of both?
So colostrum is like the first milk, and actually when you're pregnant, you already have it. So even if you have a prem baby, you've got milk, so don't worry about it. A lot of moms say, I didn't have milk, but they had colostrum, and just for them to know that that is the milk, that's the first milk. And then slowly the milk starts to change and to become more and more mature. But it actually copies what the baby needs. So your breasts are absolutely amazing. They give exactly the nutrient that baby at that age needs. So you don't need to worry about like what milk is it. Just know it's milk and it's the right.
And it's the right type of milk?
Yes.
What is transitional milk?
So transitional milk is that milk between the colostrum and the mature milk. So it looks different. It starts to change color. It's not as sticky, but that's okay. That's what we want.
Yes.
It's a good sign when you see the milk starting to change.
How often do we need to feed our baby to actually make sure that I'm producing enough milk myself?
With a newborn baby, anything between 1.5 hours to 3 hours. So if a baby sleeps more than 3 hours, newborn, we need to wake that baby up and get them to feed. Otherwise, when we delay the feeding, lots of other things go wrong, like they start to become jaundiced, then they don't latch properly, and they don't practice the boob to release more milk. So between 1.5 hours to 3 hours, that's when they should feed for.
So they feed when they need to. Yes. Carey, do you advise for parents to do on-demand feeding?
Definitely. Totally. So what that means is that you're keeping baby close to you, and as soon as they show you hunger signs, you start feeding them. And it comes to about newborns 8 to 12 times in 24 hours.
Wow.
So it is a lot. And moms need to realize it's not like 4 times a day. In the beginning, it's a lot. Yeah.
And the most important thing, not to time the baby, because most moms just keep a watch and say, okay, you've been feeding for 20 minutes now, it's good. You know, let them feed for as long as they want. When they're done, they'll let you know.
Since babies lose weight after birth and milk helps them to obviously gain back their weight, what can mom actually do during this period? Is their milk different that she's producing? Is it enough milk that she's producing to make sure that baby gains the adequate amount of weight?
I think she'll probably answer that better than me because she's the expert in this field. But I always say, when you don't rest, that's when your milk supply starts to dwindle a bit. And if you don't feed as often as the baby wants, your milk starts to dwindle. So if you just follow the instructions of feeding when the baby needs it, don't time the baby, then you will not have problems with the supply, and you rest well.
Do you like to add anything on that, please?
So we can expect a 10% weight loss, and that's normal. If it's more than that, you do need to get some help with a lactation consultant. But your colostrum, 5 mils of colostrum is the same as 30 mils of mature milk, energy-wise, nutrient-wise. So yes, your colostrum is the right milk for your baby at that time. And baby's got a very small stomach. So feeding them often is really, really important. So getting through that, your baby will pick up weight beautifully.
Because now, we often say that our breasts don't actually come with millimeters on the sides. How much milk should my babies be actually having when I'm feeding them to ensure that they actually are having enough milk, Carey?
So when you are breastfeeding, you can't see how much milk your baby's getting. So you need to look at signs from your baby to check that they're getting enough milk. So often the baby will fall asleep on the breast, they'll pull their head away, they won't have those angry hands, they'll start relaxing and their hands will be open. And that's when you'll see that they've had enough milk. If you put them down and they wake up straight away and they're hungry, then you realize that they haven't had enough milk. So you can look at how many wet nappies they have in a day, you can look at their weight, their growth, you can also see if your breasts are feeling soft after a feed, that's a sign that they've had a lot of milk. So you need to look at a whole lot of different things, but yeah.
Since this seems to be a lot of feeding, a lot of touching, a lot of letting go, a lot of holding, what can mom actually expect in this first few months with baby and her breastfeeding journey?
Expectations regarding the feeding itself?
The feeding itself and just herself emotionally and maybe even physically.
It is very exhausting. And I always say to moms, it is nice and all rosy when pregnant, but when the baby comes out, that's where the real work begins. So this is why I always say to them, resting gives you a lot of time to get your milk supply, to get to the baby's needs. So resting for me is the most important thing. That's why we involve the dads. So that the dads can actually take over while you're resting to make sure that you get enough rest for you to be able to cover the next feed.
So it's rest, and that brings the best breast.
Nice.
I'm quite certain you're utterly fascinated by the topic of breastfeeding. Trust me, I was and still am the more I learn. It even gets more interesting as we go. Don't move a muscle, don't move a breast. We'll be right back after the short break where we discuss breastfeeding position, caring for your breast while you're breastfeeding. Huggies has a hug for every moment, and we show our love through giving to our incredible communities of moms. Follow this week's unique link for Lights, Camera, Baby, complete the form and submit your details to stand a chance of winning your share of 50,000 Rand in Huggies vouchers. Every week, 100 viewers will each receive a 50 Rand discount voucher off their next purchase of Huggies diapers. The great news is you can enter each and every week. Share the hugs and share the love with the community and get them to enter too. Hello, Leanne. How are you doing today?
Well, thanks, and you, Linda?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know you have something really interesting to share with us.
Absolutely. So basically, I'm presenting the Pigeon Gomini Pro double electric breast pump, which assisted me and supported me in my breastfeeding journey. The Pigeon, it either comes as a double pump or as a single pump. If you do have the single pump, you can always upgrade it to the double pump by buying the accessory kit.
Oh, wow.
What's also useful about it is the size. It's lightweight, it's compact, and it's portable. And basically, it has a USB port, so you can use it wherever you are, with your laptop, with your power bank, and go, basically. And what's great is it fits in one's handbag.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's really, really so brilliant. As a pumping mama myself, I must say pumping secretly and pumping privately in the car, as you said, it makes my life so much easier.
Absolutely. And what's so exciting today is that we're giving away to one lucky mama their own Pigeon Gomini Pro double electric breast pump and a starter kit to the value of 3,500 Rand. And simply SMS Pigeon with your name and your surname to the number on the screen and stand a chance to win this incredible product.
Thank you so much, Pigeon, for being with us here today. And thank you so much for supporting the modern mama through her pumping journey, making it so much easier. Thank you so much, Leanne. If you've just joined us, welcome back to Lights, Camera, Baby. Today's enlightening episode is one that I'm sure parents are latching onto. See what I did there? We're talking caring for a breast while nursing, feeding positions, and more. So, Sister Lilo, let's get down into the lowdown. What is the letdown? I feel like the name should actually be changed because it's not a letdown. It's really quite a pick-me-up. Yes, it's an up.
A letdown is like a reflex kind of thing that happens in the brain when your oxytocin is starting to be released and your lactate is acting up, when your breast milk starts to flow. You actually really feel, the moms actually really feel the breast going like needing to feed. So that's when your milk starts to flow. And that happens in around 3 to 4 days, right?
It happens every time they breastfeed.
Yes.
So it's when the muscles are contracting and you get like a tingling sensation. Not everyone gets
like a
but
tingling.
Yes, what happens if you actually don't get the feeling, Carey? What does that mean?
It means nothing. It's not a problem at all. Some women feel like a cramping in their womb, and that's a good sign. That's showing that there's oxytocin, which is what's causing that tingling sensation. So if you feel that, it's also a good sign. Yeah.
I see you have a lovely demo baby there for us today.
I do.
Would you please mind showing us some breastfeeding positions?
Definitely. So very, very important, let's first look at the boob, is that we don't want a baby to latch onto the nipple. That is when it's very painful.
Yes.
So if your baby comes off and you see any change in the shape of the nipple, a flat nipple, a squashed nipple, that's a sign that you don't have a good latch. So
Really?
straight away you need help as soon as that happens, and it's very painful if it's on the nipple. So what you want is baby to latch on the dark area, the areola of the breast, and that way they actually get the milk to flow, which is perfect. So I want you to put your chin on your chest and try swallow. So do that and try swallow. It's almost impossible.
Not really great.
Exactly. So with baby, the same. So if you have baby doing that, they can't swallow. So they actually need to be extending their head upwards. And if you drink, you do that as well. So you want baby to be nose to nipple so that they have to stretch their head a little bit just to get on. And then always tummy to mummy. So it doesn't matter which position you have the baby facing mom so that it's easier for them to swallow. Ear, shoulder, and hips in a straight line because you can't swallow when you're like that.
Yes.
So that is how you would be doing the positioning of the baby.
Oh, this is taking me right back, almost. Yes, it's a year later now for me. Brings back such memories. We love having our moms with us in studio via their questions, and we do have some questions for you today from moms.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Diksha Duki and I'm from Durban. I'm a first-time mom and I would like to know if breastfeeding will cause my boobs to sag.
Can I answer that one?
Yes, sure. You can actually both can. You both can.
Go ahead first. Sorry. So that's a question we often get.
Yes.
And it's really the pregnancy that causes the breasts. Because think back, it's one of the first signs that you're pregnant is your breasts start to grow.
Yes.
So it's really the pregnancy that causes your breast to sag, not the breastfeeding.
Sister Lilo?
I was also going to say the same thing. When your body enlarges due to the pregnancy, that's when your breast actually
Because
gets to
often
the
we've
end
actually heard moms
sagging.
getting discouraged
Not the
from
breastfeeding.
breastfeeding because they feel like their breast's actually going to sag. So once you've fallen pregnant,
There's
it's
no
just
other
nature
way.
taking its course.
And when you're breastfeeding, your breasts are nice
Nice
and
and
big
pecky.
and beautiful.
Yes, and they deflate as they go along.
Yeah, when you finish, so enjoy it.
And it's the age thing as well.
Yes.
Like you can't avoid the deflatement, yeah. So it's not just breastfeeding moms.
Thank you so much for that. We do have another question from another mom.
Hi, my name is Linda. I'm a mom of 3 with number 4 on the way. My question is whether you can have someone breastfeed your baby should you not have enough milk. This is something we've been debating in the mom group, and I'd love to hear your insight.
Can I answer that one?
Yes, please.
Usually African people,
Yes.
people, like in the family, they do, I don't know what it's called, breastfeeding sharing or something like that, where a sister...
Witnessing.
Yes, witnessing, that's the word. When the sister, maybe the sister gets sick and the sister is healthy and they know their health status, in the home they usually do the witnessing. Yeah. But they have to be tested, of course, so that they know that they're not transferring anything that is not wanted by the baby to the baby.
Carey, anything to add?
No, it's amazing. Even grannies can breastfeed. So,
really?
yeah, I was watching something this morning about emergencies and how if you've breastfed before, it's easier to relactate and be able to breastfeed somebody else's baby. So it definitely can happen, for sure.
The body is very clever.
It's very, a
clever.
woman's body
Yes,
is
very
actually
clever.
miraculous.
Yeah.
Let's start there.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Because when there was a lot of diseases before and moms used to die because of after the births, the grandmothers used to take over. Put the baby in the breast,
the
let
milk
the
would just
baby
flow.
suck, and the milk flows after that.
What happens if I'm having a problem with my milk flowing in terms of my breast being engorged? What maybe can I do?
Usually the cold compress helps a lot. Like most of the time you put your cabbage leaves in the freezer, you freeze them, just a cold compress helps. To decompress the boob also helps, just to try and make it a little bit less painful. You take a little bit of the milk out so that it's easy for the baby to let, so that it's not as hard as when you're engorged.
Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, sometimes it's hard for a baby to latch on an engorged breast. So
Yes,
expressing,
and I'd imagine uncomfortable.
using heat, massaging, and then using the cool afterwards really helps a lot.
Speaking about expressing yourself, when can mom actually start pumping?
So the guideline that most moms would hear is 6 weeks. And that's so that you can have your own rhythm and your supplies built up. But there are cases where moms need to pump before that. So if your baby's in NICU or if you've got very damaged nipples and you're really struggling, then you need to pump because you have to keep the milk supply up by emptying the breast all the time. So if you're thinking that you need help with pumping, then find help. I mean, that's very important. Moms need to ask for help.
And how do I store my milk now that it's been pumped?
Okay,
Where
so-
do I keep it?
So there's different places that you can keep it depending on how soon you need it. So as soon as possible, put it in the fridge if you're going to use it that day, or you can even freeze it. Very important to write the date on it so that you use the milk up before it's expired. So in the fridge we go 3 days, in a freezer we go 3 months, and in a chest freezer we go 6 months. So also very important, don't mix milk of different temperature.
Yes.
So if you've got cold milk and you've just expressed, let that expressed milk cool down and then mix it together. And don't put cold milk on frozen milk. Yeah.
And
so
just
informative.
on top of what you said, with the mixing of the feeds, try when you express this batch, put it away. Don't express this batch and add another batch on top of the batch. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually really, really informative because I'd imagine that some moms have to work quite earlier on after having a baby. And speaking about the breasts, which we are doing today, what happens when my nipples are cracked or when they sore? What can I do?
Very, very helpful to just keep your boobs open. Let the air and the sun hit the boobs because the sun has a lot of vitamin D. It helps to heal the cracked nipples and the air as well. Air and the sun heals the nipples, and that's the easy way out. And what usually helps as well, to squeeze a little bit of breast milk and use it as a nipple cream, and that makes them heal as well.
So that's very true because that helps to prevent thrush from happening, the drying out. But if you do have sore cracked nipples, it's often the latch is not correct. It means that the baby is actually on the nipple. So if you can fix that,
You
then
fix the problem.
You fix the
so
problem.
fix the source is actually
Yes,
what it is. You fix the
definitely.
source to avoid actually having those
And it
cracked
getting
nipples.
worse.
Yes, and
Yeah.
getting worse because it can. Because some would want to carry on feeding when they actually cracked, it just makes the process, obviously, even the healing process a bit slower.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable. Thank you so much. What an incredible download of information. After the short break, we're going to answer some more of your burning questions around breastfeeding.
Your hug tenderly cares for your baby. Our hug gently protects his delicate skin. Huggies Extra Care is our gentle protective hug with soft pillows that absorb mess in seconds to protect newborn skin. An extra wide stretchy waistband and unique runny poo pocket for better leakage protection. Huggies Extra Care. Now available in sizes 3, 4 and 5.
Make every moment special as you bond with your baby. Subscribe to our channel, Mama Magic SA on YouTube. Tell us in a few words what your breastfeeding experience was like on the Mama Magic SA Instagram and Facebook feeds. Tag at least 2 other friends and you could be a winner of a sensational Huggies hamper. We've covered all aspects of the basics of breastfeeding, feeding positions, breast care, latching, and more. Our experts, Carey and Lilo, have been giving us the inside scoop of all things breastfeeding. Now we're joined by breastfeeding advocate and director of the South African Breastmilk Reserve, Staša Jordan. Welcome, Staša. How are you doing?
Thank you, Linda.
Staša with a good stash, hey?
Indeed, of breast milk.
Breast milk, yes. What exactly is the SABR?
We are a human milk banking organism that focuses on collecting donated breast milk from healthy mums and distributing it to premature babies in neonatal intensive care units. So our focus target population is babies that are usually extremely low birth weight, such as 450-gram babies, up to 1.8 kilos. So when you have a premature baby, breastfeeding is non-negotiable. And oftentimes, due to the confusing messages that mommies are subjected to,
Yes.
And these ideas around consumerism, they don't know that even if you decided not to breastfeed, if you had a full-term baby, if your baby is born prematurely, you will be told to breastfeed, because otherwise babies are at high risk of mortality and morbidity.
I did not know that. I did not know that. What are the benefits of breast milk to prem babies?
Well, we can talk about the pathologies associated with the lack of breastfeeding. So babies that are very low birth weight and are not breastfed are often susceptible to an infection called necrotizing enterocolitis. And necrotizing, from the word necrosis, means that the gut turns black. And that is irreversible. When a baby, a premature baby, and often at times quite bigger ones, like 1.8 kilo babies can have an EC, it leads to colostomies. So they remove large portions of the gut, have external colostomy bags, and this is usually a condition that is not compatible with life. So human milk banking, it's not quite as fluffy as the rest of maternity. You can imagine we are helping moms that are in a really difficult situation, that oftentimes themselves are hospitalized in intensive care and are unable to breastfeed. So it's essential. It's like donated blood for an accident patient. It really saves lives.
And it's really needed, and it cannot be manufactured. You really, really cannot replicate breast milk and what it actually possesses. It's really, really important. Thank you so much for this wonderful work that you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Wow. Speaking about supporting people, how can dad maybe support mom, Carey, through breastfeeding? Because it's time consuming. How can dad be of support to mom?
So what's really interesting is the research shows that if a dad is supportive of breastfeeding, if a dad believes in his partner, she's more likely to succeed. So it's just believing in her and then helping her, doing the dishes, doing other things, making sure she's comfortable. I mean, it's the most amazing thing when I go and do a consult and the dad's there and he's so interested and he's helping to hold his up. Can I get a blanket? What can I do? Being that kind of dad is very important, because at 2:00 in the morning and mommy's broken down and it's not working, he is there to help her. So he needs to know about breastfeeding. He needs to watch all the videos and understand the importance of breastfeeding. So I would say they are key and they need to be knowledgeable.
Oh, that's really, really impressive. It really does take a great support structure to be able to actually breastfeed, because it is time consuming emotionally and physically for mom. Sister Lilo, what happens? Where can mom reach out if she feels like she's actually struggling with breastfeeding?
the very first point of contact is your caregiver, your midwife. Your midwife is always on speed dial. So number one, midwife, I'm struggling, can you do something? And they will give you the right hands. They know who to contact and they'll give you contacts, and all the women that are busy with the breastfeeding, that do breastfeeding, they're passionate about it, they're available almost 24 hours a day. So your very first point of contact is your midwife. And then another thing, maybe if I should add to the dads taking part.
Yes.
With all my moms, they know, I usually say to give mom a rest. Dad needs to change nappy, burp baby, before giving the baby to mom to feed. So that by the time mom feeds, mom has energy. And then they take turns just like that. It helps a lot.
It really, really does. So, are there any other support groups that maybe you may know of that maybe can join, be it on our Facebook page or be it online? Are there any support groups that moms can reach out to Carey if you know of any?
No, definitely. Well, you can also look up lactation consultants, and then we know each other. So if you're in a different area and I can't assist you, I'll be able to find and refer on to you. There's lots of different Facebook groups that support breastfeeding. So you just really have to look for them and you'll find them.
And how does one become a donor?
Well, there are a variety of inclusion and exclusion criteria, as you can imagine. Mummies have to simply be healthy, not taking most medication, especially chronic prescriptions, such as hypertension drugs, currently atypical antipsychotics, or some lactation drugs are even exclusion criteria. So usually only 1 out of 6 donors that apply to donate qualify. And we're hoping to relax these guidelines in the near future because it does impact our access to breast milk. A lot of moms are taking antidepressants, and we would like to make allocations for them to donate their breast milk as well.
How do we actually give it? Because I'm based in Durban. So how would I go about actually making sure that it arrives?
How do you find a human milk bank? I say always Google it.
Yes.
So put it into your browser and say human milk bank near me. And you will find us probably as one of the top searches. If a mummy signs up on our website, we will then redirect her to the breast milk bank nearer to her. We are not the only human milk bank in South Africa. I think it's worth mentioning there is Milk Matters in the Western Cape, the KZN Initiative for Breastfeeding Support. There are some independent human milk banks. There is the Netcan Kaliso banks. So there is quite a wide range of human milk banks. It's also important to, as Sister Lilo mentioned, to speak to your healthcare provider and mention that you want to donate your breast milk.
Yes.
So then we will collect the breast milk from you. We make it very easy for mom. You have to just sign up and we'll get in touch with you, and you don't even have to leave your house.
That is so amazing. I think leaving your house is really something that all moms will look forward to, not having to leave it.
Yeah, it's like moving house when you have a baby.
We're talking all things that has to do with breastfeeding, and later on we have something special from Pigeon. Pigeon understands breastfeeding and have a wide range of breastfeeding products to enhance and support your breastfeeding journey, from electric to manual breast pumps, storage solutions with our breast milk storage bags and bottles, ultra slim honeycomb breast pads which absorb 20 times its weight, keeping you dry and comfortable day and night, plus our 100% pure lanolin nipple cream to soothe and protect. Pigeon, products designed to meet the everyday needs of a modern breastfeeding mom. Thank you so much for a well of input. I feel like I'm going to leave here with double D's and double F's of knowledge. Thank you so very much for all your input and all your insights. I know that a lot of moms have been answered, their questions have been answered, and their worries have been set to bed. Thank you so very much for being here with us today. We truly, truly, truly do appreciate it. Don't fall into the booby trap of believing that breastfeeding sucks. I'm just full of them today. Thank you so much to a fantastic expert. Thank you, Carey. Thank you, Lilo. And thank you, Staša. We now know that with the right support, patience, and extra self-love, this will be beneficial and a special time for you and your baby. Look after yourselves and your little ones. Remember, breast is best. Bye-bye to my breasties.
Do you know about stem cell banking? Have you considered this for your baby and their future? Banking your baby's stem cells is a form of medical insurance that you hope you never have to use. Stem cells are the original building blocks of life and can help treat over 80 blood-related diseases. Contact NetCells today to learn how you can safeguard your baby's future.
You've spoken and we've listened. That's why our gentle protective hugs have grown. The Huggies Extra Care range you know and love is now available in sizes 3, 4 and 5 with soft absorbent pillows, unique runny poo pockets for extra leakage protection. Huggies Extra Care is also clinically proven hypoallergenic for newborn skin protection. Give your baby the best care they deserve with Huggies Extra Care. Huggies, your hugs inspire ours.